Homes, streets, lives reduced to dust by Israel's relentless assault. Amjad's voice trembles with fear as she speaks. Destruction is total destruction everywhere, she says. We walk in panic, we sleep in panic, we sit in panic. The outskirts of Gaza City are under fierce bombardment as Israel's army prepares for an operation to take full control of it. 3-year-old Natalie's father caresses his daughter, pulled out from underneath the rubble. We were sitting in the shop, he says, when everything suddenly went grey and there was a sound just like that. Elsewhere in Gaza City today, journalists paid their respects to 5 colleagues killed yesterday in twin strikes by the Israeli army. Prime Minister Netanyahu described it as a tragic mishap. But with more than 200 journalists killed in Gaza, there's no doubt here as to why they died.
The occupation deliberately targets journalists, knowing the impact of the Palestinian image, the Palestinian report across the world.
In Israel, the day began with protests by supporters of the hostages still held in Gaza, calling for a deal that would secure their release and end the war. Hamas has already agreed to a ceasefire proposal and partial exchange, but Prime Minister Netanyahu is insisting only a complete surrender by the militants will end the bloodshed. Ruby Chen's son Itai was an Israeli soldier abducted on October the 7th.
Every dinner table, we have a missing chair. Now dwell upon that and reflect. What does that mean? Each and every one of you listening to me now.
Tell me, what's your message to your government today?
We are the people. I think it's the majority of the people that say one simple thing. We all want to dismantle Hamas. But before that, there are those 50 hostages. 50 hostages that are either sons, husbands, siblings, a universe.
For many months, it's been clear there's a significant majority in Israel willing to end the war to get the hostages back. Here, mothers with toddlers gathered in protest.
Well, I think the war should be ended. I mean, all of the hostages should come back home now.
You're a mother. You must see so many children in Gaza are being killed as well. How does that make you feel?
It's horrific.
But amongst demonstrators, there were also many who criticize Israel's political leadership, yet still support its army.
The suffering that is going on in Gaza is not the military's fault, and sometimes Hamas is, not sometimes, all the time, Hamas is showing pictures of kids who are not even related to what's going on.
Every day in Gaza, children are amongst those killed by Israeli bombs. Here, an entire family, including 3 young boys, are being prepared for burial. They were targeted whilst they were sleeping by a drone, this man says. The children were torn apart. Despite all the blood, all the tears that have been shed already, yet more look to lie ahead.
Hospitals have been targeted several times in Gaza, but this time it was caught on camera twice. This was the first explosion, 10 a.m. yesterday outside Nasser Hospital. An Israeli strike targeted the top floor of one of Gaza's largest hospitals. Then came the second strike, hitting the same spot, a staircase where journalists gathered and rescue workers were trying to save those injured in the first blast just a few minutes earlier. It's been described as a double tap, a military tactic that involves striking an initial location, then striking the same location again to maximize casualties.
There are very serious doubts that further attacks against medical facilities in Gaza right now can easily be proportionate. And even if the first attack would have been legal, then, there's this issue of the double tap strike about the second attack. And together, it's obviously unlikely that you would strike by mistake the same object twice.
Hospitals, journalists and emergency workers are supposed to be protected under international law. But yesterday, among the 20 killed, 4 health workers and 5 journalists. Hussam al-Masri was behind this Reuters live feed when the strike hit. His camera froze, and with his death, the world will see less of Gaza's skyline. Muaz Abu Taha, Ahmed Abu Aziz, who worked through pain and hunger, according to his colleagues. Mohammed Salama was a photographer for Al Jazeera. He fell in love during this war with Hala Asfour, a fellow journalist. The couple were engaged and even hoped to get married after a ceasefire. Then there was Mariam Dagga, a photojournalist for the Associated Press, whose images of starving children shocked the world. She was a single mother who sent her 13-year-old son abroad to safety while she stayed behind. She wrote a will and a final message for her son. Ghaif, you are the heart and soul of your mother. I want you to pray for me and not to cry over me. At her funeral today, Mariam's father wept.
She cared for me and donated her kidney to me, and they transplanted it. She was loved by everyone.
After the attack, the Israeli government accepted they did target the hospital, not once but twice. The IDF then said they will hold an inquiry. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tweeted this: Israel deeply regrets the tragic mishap that occurred today at the Nasser hospital in Gaza. And today, a different tone as the IDF shared the results of the initial investigation. They said, without providing evidence, Nasser hospital was targeted because they identified cameras positioned by Hamas.
Even if they thought that, you do not blast parts of the hospital such that innocents are killed. That international humanitarian law does not allow you to do that. Bypassing the rule of law and international norms that are couched in the Geneva Conventions and so on, is setting an example to the world. Forget the law, we just do what we want.
Journalists in Gaza are meant to be protected by international law. Without them, the world will see less, and their words and images will disappear from our screens.